There've been a couple comments. Bless and Breaks has asked, and others have, and I had it on my list because there's this big Logan Paul Pokemon BBCE deal going on. So I'll bring up Bless and Breaks first comment. What are your thoughts on Card Kahuna Sports? Okay, what are your thoughts on Card Kahuna? And then please talk about the fake Pokemon sale. Your thoughts on this individual named Card Kahuna. So I don't know. I think I know who Card Kahuna is. I think his name is Jacob. I'm not 100% certain though. But Brian, this whole Logan Paul case of Pokemon, I heard today that it's been verified as a fake case that he bought for $3.5 million. Brian, what are your thoughts on this whole fake case of Pokemon issue?
I mean, if you think about it, I think, again, what I hate about stuff like this, first off, I'm friends with the authenticators from Beckett for autographs. And the one thing they taught me back when they were at PSA, because they're now all at Beckett, because I'm an autograph guy too, and what they taught me, one rule is know your limitations. And that's like one of the best things I ever heard. I'll credit Steve Grad and Zach and Brian, those guys. They taught me to know limitations. I know the autographs that I know, and I know what I don't know. And the things I don't know, just to try to be full service, I don't need to pretend I know them. So when I put cuts and leaf cards, I get authenticators to look at them because I don't know everything. And so, I think we have to apply that everywhere. And I think for Baseball Card Exchange, who I do business with, I think you have to say, we're just going to take a pass on some stuff. We're just not going to wrap some stuff if we're not sure. Because now it's like, well, we weren't sure, we had to go on that. It's just like a web of like excuses. We don't need excuses. Just don't do it if you're not sure. You didn't need that $3,500 you got paid to shrink wrap that case or whatever it was. You didn't really need that bad. For real. Just know when you got to say no. And that's what I love about like the authenticators at Beckett. There's times they'll just give the autograph back and say, we're not going to render an opinion on this one.
Right.
But it's just better than like some companies will just fail it. That's not the right answer to just fail it if you don't know the answer. So I think that's where I'm most disappointed. And I think it honestly gives me makes me a touch nervous about some of the sealed product that may be wrapped. Because while I think the expertise in sports is definitely stronger, I think while the expertise in sports is probably stronger, I think it does cast, whether we want it or not, some shadow of doubt on the process and on the final product to some extent.
It does. But the one thing that I'll say to all this is that the hobby has proven that it's willing to look past these things.
Oh, sure.
We're willing to give BBCE, PSA, BGS, whoever is in any sort of authentication business, we're willing to give them a pass. There will be some new drama that will unfold a week or two from now, and we will probably forget about what just happened. Now, I agree. I don't know the story, so I don't know what sort of expertise BBCE felt they had with a Pokemon case. I just don't know. But, if they decide, okay, you know what, we made a mistake. We're only gonna authenticate sports products now that we have extensive experience with. I think the hobby's going to be okay with that. And every BBCE verified unopened pack I have in my collection, I don't question it. And you know what? If one of them was tampered with, still looks great in that PSA slab, and I'm never going to open it anyway. So
yeah, and again, I think Steve is fantastic at what he does. I really do believe that. I'm not at Baseball Card Exchange. Steve Hart really knows what he's doing. They're good. They really are good. It's just it's like we take 5 steps forward, and maybe this is only a step or 2 back, but like I just hate stuff. I hate the trim card stuff we went through. I hate that, these are it's just one of those things where we have to, it's like when anyone has to explain stuff to me about why, the longer the story is, the less I want to hear it. Like it turns me off.
Yeah.
Like someone will bring me a piece of memorabilia and I say, what kind of provenance is there? Well, they give me this hour talk. Okay, if you had to talk to me about it for an hour to tell me why it's good, like that's not for me.
People are not calling out, but mentioning some of the parties who are at play in this transaction. I mean, now listen, you've got Logan Paul, you've got this gentleman who goes by the name of Shine, You've got Jamil from Mealy Pops, and you've got Jacob, who is also known as Card Kahuna. I don't know. I think Logan Paul has certainly bought it. You know, he's maybe the I don't want to say, let me just put it this way. I don't know who's at fault. I don't know who knew that this thing was fake. So I'm not going to call anybody out because I just don't know. But somebody obviously knew that this case was fake. And we'll see now that the BBCE authentication has kind of fallen away and is no longer a determining factor in the authenticity of this product, and it's now been verified apparently as being fake. Someone's going to have to pay the price here. Or maybe say we would like to see somebody pay the price here, and because there's been fraud, there's been the deliberate attempt to defraud someone of their hard-earned money, or maybe their easily earned money, at the expense of, in exchange for nothing, for something that's essentially worthless. So, what do you think the fallout from that is? Not so much. I'm not really. Okay, we can talk about the overall hobby. I genuinely don't think that the sports card hobby is going to be affected by this. I really don't. But what do you think the fallout is for the people at play here? Will somebody go to jail? Will somebody get arrested?
The guy that sold it's making it right. I heard, right? Isn't that the story?
I'm not sure.
I think the guy that sold it's making it right. So that's number one. If he makes it right, I think the hobby is the loser. I mean, BBCE, obviously Baseball Card Exchange is a loser for authenticating it, clearly. They lose in that one. That definitely harms their brand image, no doubt about it. I still trust Steve Hart with a lot of stuff, but that's disappointing for them. But I think outside of that, I think the hobby, as much as you hate to look at the big picture, I think the hobby loses. The hobby lost because it's another thing we have to explain. It's a public shaming of the hobby, justified or not. Now, what's interesting about it is what if there is a sealed case somewhere, and this transaction, which is fake, or maybe not the transaction is fake, the product is. That sealed case is now worth $3.5 million or more, right?
Yeah.
So
theoretically,
I mean, if someone was really shrewd, they could use all this as a setup for a legit case to really be worth $4 million now. But I mean, again, who knows?
Shrewd is one way to describe it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I honestly hate anything that's a black eye for the hobby because we just worked so hard to get this far. And any step back is a bad step back. Yeah, no, I think that says it well. Yeah, it's not good for the hobby. I think we can agree on that. It's not good. Although, as they say, as some people say, any publicity is good publicity, and this is publicity for the cardboard hobby one way or another, whether or not it hits mainstream media. Well, Logan Paul's reach is pretty wide. $3.5 million is a lot of money to most people on the planet. So it's definitely. I hope they catch that part of the story and not just it was fake and there was a scam part of it. Because the fact he was willing to pay that kind of money, which first off, I think that would be considered a horrible Goats and Grells reach. Pokemon Goats and Grells reach. I think it's a terrible buy at that level. But the fact that he's willing to spend that kind of money should be an eye-opener to people that, there's still money flowing into all these spaces in a massive way.